turn to pick. Radiant team.
Hello and welcome to the Thunderfunking Dotacast. I am Cranberry Thunderfunk, and I'm most pleased to bring you a best of 3 between Rat in the Dark and mousesports. It's a rodent showdown in the RaidCall EMS One Summer 2013 main event here, and we're getting towards the end of the group stages. Both of these teams, I believe, mousesports definitely, I believe, are on track to qualify for the playoffs. Rat in the Dark, they've actually managed to place decently in, I believe, 2 of the cups so far. There have been 4 cups. I think they placed first in one and third in another. So they have potential here. I don't know what their overall standings are in the groups. However, the last game I watched of them was very creative and aggressive, so I'm rather excited to see how they do in this match. And it's been a little while since I've watched a game from mousesports, so I'm excited about that. Some of the initial bans are a little interesting, particularly the Doombringer. Haven't seen a lot of Doom banned. He has been getting picked more often. That's definitely the case. Is quite likely that Rat in the Dark have been running Doom, and mousesports may just know that through a quick review of their previous games.
5 seconds remaining.
But it is nevertheless, it's an interesting first ban, and it could indicate that, you know, if Rat in the Dark favors that, and they have mousesports has something in particular that they want to run, they don't want to deal with it. And Doom, he's a very strong jungler. One of the better semi carries early on. I would hesitate to call him a hard carry because he just never seems to quite make it as the hard carry role, but he can definitely provide a lot of damage and a lot of utility as a semi carry. Plus, providing more experience in the map by occupying the jungle and freeing up another solo lane. Off the bat, Rat in the Dark pick up Lifesteal or Nature's Prophet, which is a pretty decent combo together that provides pretty good global initiation. Lifestealer can infest inside Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet can teleport, and you can have yourself a grand old time with whoever you choose to go to town on. It's a little bit like having a Wisp teleport. Wisp relocate, even. Not quite as strong, but still it's a good combo. The only concern I have is that Tree Protector is very strong versus Lifestealer. Someone that really depends on his auto attacks, and even though he does get the attack speed buff from his rage, Living Armor nullifies a lot of Lifestealer's damage when he's trying to go on top, go on to someone. And similarly, Nature's Wrath is not as effective when you have a treant in the game. In fact, Nature's Prophet in general is just not quite as good as Split Pusher because he depends on whittling towers down in some cases. And if he's able to get a lot of farm, then if he has things like a Desolator, an AC mechanism, Shadowblade, all of those tools allow him to be a really good Split Pusher, but he tends not to get a whole tower in one fell swoop. He does it over time, and Tree Protector is really good at dealing with that. Healing towers back up and making sure that there is no free gold on the map for that Nature's Prophet. The mid matchups have already been picked here with Puck versus Queen of Pain. It's a fairly even matchup, perhaps slightly favoring Puck because she can phase shift the dagger, which is one of the things that makes Queen of Pain a strong solo mid. The dagger providing a good movement speed slow, but more importantly, delaying the ability to use bottle charges. Rat in the Dark pick up the Shadow Demon, so they'll need to finish off their picks with one more support, which I have to say, in terms of the drafting order, I kind of prefer. A lot of teams I've noticed have been saving the solo mid as like a last pickup, and that makes it a lot easier to ban out ideal solo mids, given the drafting order. If your last pick is a support, admittedly, your draft is now fairly clear. You can't pick any surprise
Turn to
surprise
ban.
supports that completely change the game around. But it also makes it impossible to ban out all of the viable options for supports. Mousesports do get rid of the Lina, which is a strong combo with Shadow Demon. I think would make a really nice lineup for Rat in the Dark if they'd been able to pick that up. But there's still a lot of options to pool. Jakiro. Where's Darkseer? No, okay, Darkseer is banned. Lich also gets banned, which I think he's been seeing more play recently. Very reasonable, and I think particularly with Lifestealer on Rat in the Dark, that's getting rid of the Lich is
10
important.
seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
So with Queen of Pain mid, and what I imagine will be, it could be a Weaver offlane. It could also be an aggressive tri-lane with Gyro and Treant. That's also a possibility. I'd say it's more likely that Gyro would be a part of the tri-lane than Weaver, because Weaver is a little weaker in the early levels, and he's more viable as a solo. Gyro is fine as a solo on his own, but Weaver's pretty hard to shut down, and he's particularly hard to gank. So Rat in the Dark, lacking the Lina, they pick up the Leshrac, which is it's equally strong, and I think enhances the pushing power of Rat in the Dark. I think that's probably a stronger pickup for this game than Lina would be, because of Edict blowing through the living armor charges. I do think that Rat in the Dark are going to be struggling against the living armor from Treant Protector. Outside of the Diabolic Edict, the Treants from Nature's Prophet, and ostensibly the Shadow Poison from Shadow Demon, they don't have an easy way to burn through charges, and that's going to mean some big dives from Mousesports. Mousesports, they rounded off with the Bane. Pretty very strong pickup versus Lifestealer.
10 seconds remaining.
As always. Enfeeble plus Nightmare plus Fiend's Grip. It's a lot of ways for dealing with that very, very annoying Lifestealer. Running through the lineups. Rat in the Dark, they're from Finland. They're hoping to make it to the playoffs here in the main event of the RaidCall EMS One Summer series. So on the Radiant side, we have Rat in the Dark. Sifla, he'll be playing Lifestealer. Lapis, he'll be playing Leshrac. Boogie on that Puck. Deco on Shadow Demon, and Spin on Nature's Prophet. For Mousesports on the Dire side, we've got qojgva on that mid Queen of Pain. Pas on Weaver. Synderen will be playing that Treant Protector, and Black will be on Gyrocopter. The start of things here look to be a 2-1-2 from Mousesports. If it is defensive tri-lane from Rat in the Dark, then it's an interesting setup. The roaming potential for Rat in the Dark is really good. Shadow Demon plus Leshrac makes it quite possible for them to rotate between lanes and find a lot of kills. Because basically any lane that they rotate to, it could be possible, especially with teleport ganks from Nature's Prophet. If it is a 2-1-2, however, Nature's Prophet will be able to go up into the off lane and be alright. In fact, he should really be A-OK versus Gyro plus Treant Protector. But Rat in the Dark may not be expecting a 2-1-2, so Spin looks to be starting off in the jungle for the time being. The 2-2 is also viable because of the Treant Protector. It provides a lot more survivability, means you can be more aggressive than you would otherwise be able. So I think it's a pretty smart choice by Mousesports. They are still going to have trouble in this bottom lane because this is deadly. Disruption plus Split Earth and then the open wounds. Whoever they find, even if it's Weaver, is likely to die. Synderen may just be hanging around. It's unclear whether he'll actually be joining this to form form the tri-lane. Needs to find his experience somewhere, and I think the only reliable place to do that would be in the safe lane where he can pull and stack. It's one danger of running tree in the aggressive tri-lane is you want him to get the experience so you have as many levels as possible in the living armor, because it gets way more effective the more points you get into it, and it's just a lot better if you can max it out before 10 minutes. So we'll see if Synderen is able to do that. Gets the first pull off, and because it's a completely unchallenged lane, there's no wards up here, there's nothing stopping the stacking. So no troubles for him. A lot of trading back and forth of harass down in this bottom lane. Pause with living armor can basically endlessly auto attack. Oh, there's an disruption. They drop the sentry. Will the splitters land? Yes, it does. He actually already pops the Shikuchi, but with the living armor does not take enough damage. In fact, all the charges get used up on that. That must how much damage? I gotta know how much damage was reduced there. Okay, 7 instances, blocks, 20 damage each. That's 140 damage saved. Paz very may well have gone down there if it weren't for the living armor. God, that shit is absurd. So already, like, that was a perfect combination, and there's level 2 on both Leshrac as well as Shadow Demon. There's the Soul Catcher. Split Earth misses this time. Poor timing from the police could cost them. Paz could actually be very aggressive if he wanted to be. Diabolic Edict is pop on the Leshrac, so that will force Paz to stay back. Living armor charges get used up. So unfortunate for Rat in the Dark. If they had not missed that combination there, they may have been able to pick up the kill on the Paz.
Top tower is under attack.
But if wishes were fishes, then, well, Rat in the Dark would have first blood. That's what that's the old saying. The old Chinese saying. Go look it up. Trust me, that's what it was. Now that there's being some damage applied to the top tier 1 spin, rotates up to top, out of the jungle. Wants to pick up the experience that's available and slow down that push as much as he can. Versus Gyrocopter. Gyrocopter will be happy to pick up some of the last hits on those treants with his flat cannon. But Spin should be fairly safe here. Treant Protector is not a big danger for any ranged hero in an offlane. Treant Protector has to get him fairly close to land the Leech Seed, and even then, Spin can just teleport out. The homing missile does not arrive soon enough to take out, or to stun him out of his teleport. Over in mid, qojgva's actually got a pretty big leg up on Boogie. 23-7 versus 14-2. So it's unfortunate for Rat in the Dark, because they'd really like this puck to be providing more utility to their lanes, and getting that Blink Dagger is necessary for Puck to be as aggressive as she wants to be. And it's going to be a while before that arrives, so especially with falling behind in farm. Unlikely that qojgva will rotate out of this lane, especially with all the lanes going pretty well for mousesports at this point. The top 3 farmers in the game right now are the Tricore on mousesports, Gyro, Queen of Pain, and even Weaver down at bottom lane. He's matching evenly with Seaflow.
Radiant's top tower is
Sitting
under
at 21-3 versus 20-2 on that Lifestealer. So this 2-1-2 working out really nicely for mousesports, and I expect to see, yeah, there's an early experience advantage going towards mousesports, and I expect that to continue. The only hope here is for continued chain pulls from the supports on Rat in the Dark. And actually, would like to see them continue to attempt to kill Weaver or Bane. In fact, there's a teleport down bottom. Nope, does not complete from Spin. So just trying to scare off mousesports for not any particular reason. I mean, again, I'd like to see them continue to attempt the combo, because that's if they're not
Radiant's middle
I mean,
tower
actually,
is under
Synderen's at
attack.
full mana. He doesn't even have to use the living armor because of how well the lanes are going right now. But they've got to try. You can't be letting your Weaver beat your Lifestealer in a dual lane versus a tri lane. That's just not supposed to happen. But that's the power of living armor. And that's really everything that it comes down to is Treant Protector in this game. Black, he's topping the farm pretty convincingly right now. He's almost double what Synderen is down at bottom.
Radiant's
47
top
and
tower
12
is
on
under
him,
attack.
and
Radiant structures are fortified.
Fortify popped on the Radiant side. They could potentially take this top tier 1 fairly early on. Nature's Prophet is not particularly great at stopping pushes.
Radiant's
Treants,
top
especially
tower
against
is
someone like
under attack.
Gyrocopter, they're just food. They can soak up hits from the creeps, but that's about it. Well, first tower going down. A slight mistake from mousesports not getting the last hit on the tower. It is a little bit difficult to do, so it's tough to say mistake per se, but it's missing out on 150, 200 gold that could have gone towards black. Nonetheless, first tower of the game goes towards mousesports. Going to be furthering their early lead here. There are no sentries here. Actually, there's a teleport bottom from Puck. Are they able to take Paz down? They land the silence, but not before the Jikushi. There's the Dream Coil. Living Armor is still on Paz, though. He's actually man-fighting with Lifestealer. Almost manages to do it, but not quite. First Blood goes toward Lifestealer. It takes 4 heroes to do it,
Radiant's middle tower is
but
under attack.
they succeed, and that's good news for this Lifestealer. Particularly getting the last hit onto Synderen was actually a fairly significant thing to happen there. It's amazing that it took 4 heroes to do it, though. I mean, they had to pop the Dream Coil as well. So a pretty expensive kill, especially when that means that both top and mid continue to farm for mousesports. qojgva and black they're having a grand old time. I mean, 66 last hits at 8 minutes. That's almost every creep kill, missing basically 1.5 per minute. And same thing in mid for qojgva. He's at 53, and as mid versus... Oh, there's a haste on qojgva. Would love to find somebody. Diabolic Edict popped by Lapis. Could be really early for that, though. Can he land a split earth? He does land it on Paz. The Nature's Wrath actually goes through, but is not enough damage. Zizu, he's dropping low. There's a Sonic Wave. Wow, Synderen, this is a big overextension by mousesports. Hard to see what was happening in that fight.
Was most welcome.
I believe the Sonic Waves was phase shifted by Puck, which, if so, that was pretty fantastic from Boogie and saved his life.
Top tower is under attack.
It really could have been a great fight for mousesports, but just diving a little too hard. I thought for sure that the popping the Diabolic E early on Lapis would have cost him, but because Paz had not yet hit level 6, he didn't have the time lapse, which if he'd had that, he would have been okay in that fight. So a 3-for-1, not a great trade at all for mousesports, but still, I think even with that death, they've still got a lead. Evens out the experience, but that's all for now. Minus picked up onto spin, so his farm will be ratcheting up over the next few minutes. Deco, he's still trying to pick up his boots. Armlet on the way for Synderen. He picked up the phase and is not opting to pick up the drums. I think the armlet is probably a better choice for him just because he needs something a little more high impact in the near term. Drum it's great to have if you get great early farm, but his farm early on has not been too fantastic. He did manage to pick one of the last hits up in that last engagement, so that helps close the gap a little bit. qojgva, he's sitting on 1,600 gold. A lot of options for him in this game. I think Aghanims would not be a surprising pickup. I tend to hate seeing it first because of it burns through Queen of Pain's mana pool so fast, and Queen of Pain is way more effective when she's able to continually spam all of her spells, particularly the Scream of Pain. I mean, two Screams of Pain are better than a single Sonic Wave and cost less mana, or actually, sorry, 30 more mana. Way more efficient in terms of mana cost and much more spammable. So I tend to favor getting a big mana regen item, something like a Lincoln Sphere, a Sheep Stick, something of that sort that helps out with her high mana costs early on. But nonetheless, I would not be surprised to see an Aghanim Scepter at some point during this game. Sheepstick will almost certainly be on the docket too, because there's a Lifestealer in this game. That's a strong way of dealing with him. Black continues to free farm up atop. He's 95 and 31. Going straight for a BKB, it looks like, and in fact, he's already got the Mithril Hammer, so he's almost there. Will make him really hard to gank. I'll find it interesting to note that it is Black's style to pick up the BKB early. He likes to farm. He's probably one of the best farmers of Western carries in the game. So it certainly fits his style. Down at bottom, Rat in the Dark applying some pressure down to the bottom tier 1. That's a level 3 Edict, so it does a lot of damage, and there's 2 sets of treants here, so it's actually falling pretty low. There's a teleport bottom from Zizu, as well as qojgva. The Fortify is already down. It's kind of a late teleport. Oh, qojgva, he jumps in, lands the Sonic Wave on 2, takes out Deko, no problem. Nice Nightmare from Zizu, guarantees that Spin does not make it out of the fight. So that's 2 kills going the way of qojgva. Dream Coil lands on 3, there's the Infest. Seafla immediately goes onto qojgva, takes him out of the fight. There's Lifestealer, he manages to make it out. Good Rage TP from him. Guarantees his safety. So that looked like a really good Dream Coil. Oh, Black. He's landing a Rocket Barrage. He picks up a double kill for his trouble down at bottom. And that was a buyback from Spin. That was a death into a buyback. And then another death. So, really good fight for mousesports. That strongly favors them. I think the only death they suffered there, did they suffer any deaths at all? Nope, no deaths for mousesports in that last fight, and
bottom tower is under attack.
They're looking really good. Especially with Black kicking up a double kill there, and the bottom tier 1 soon to follow. All mousesports lost in that fight was the bottom tier 1 of their own. Actually, oh. qojgva could pick up a kill on Deko here. There's really no reason that he shouldn't. One more right click and he will. qojgva blinks out. He's gonna be safe. No easy chase here for Rat in the Dark. So overextension, or really just not great positioning from Shadow Demon, feeds another kill to qojgva. That Sonic Wave in the last fight there, that landed on at least 3, potentially 4. Really powerful, and most importantly, took Shadow Demon out of the fight early, which they need him in order for these fights to work for Rat in the Dark. It's such a strong source to disable, and can save his own teammates. It's the number of uses for disruption are basically infinite, and having him go down, he needs to be standing further back. Is basically the conclusion that we can draw from his last 2 deaths. Should not be up in the front there. He does. I mean, I can understand some of the logic. He wants to set up the split earth stun, but I think in that situation, Lapis he had a lot of opportunities to land a split earth without a setup, because they knew how Mouse was going to be approaching into the fight. They could see the teleports. They didn't need the setup from disruption as much as they might in other situations. There's a rotation around here from Rat in the Dark. They're looking to take down Pause, but I don't think they have the sentries necessary. So Paz can be really aggressive. They still don't. They have dust, but that's hardly enough to take down Weaver. Can time lapse straight out of that. No troubles. Experience 4,000, 5,000 gold in favor of mousesports.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
The late game here,
Radiant structures
particularly given the
are
farm
fortified.
difference, really favors mousesports. They've got gyrocopter. Overall, outcarries Lifestealer, particularly as far as team fights are concerned. But there's also, there's the disruption. Teleport down from Spin. The Split Earth misses from Lapis. He's, the time lapse used by Weaver, he's going to make it out of this A-okay. Lapis, second time he's potentially cost his team a kill onto Paz. You really, I mean, the need to time the Split Earth very tightly is important, but there's more room for error than you might suspect, especially if you predict the direction that Weaver wants to go coming out. Oh no, he could feed a kill here to Paz. Is there a rotation in time from his supports? Oh, he lands the Split Earth. The time lapse is not up. There's the open wounds. This could be over-aggression from Paz. But no, he pops his Sakuchi. He's going to be okay. Lapis narrowly makes it out of there with support from his teammates. But I mean, there's more time on the Split Earth than you might suspect, because if you position it more in the direction that you suspect Weaver will be going, then it's possible to get. Oh, there's this Orchid already picked up on a qojgva. He uses it on Boogie, and he actually almost drops solely. Oh, there's a Fiend's Grip onto Spin, so that mousesports does find a kill that they were looking for in mid. Not onto Puck, but that's okay. They still take down a Nature's Prophet, and that's a Midas Nature's Prophet with a Midas off of cooldown. So that's a big deal. That said, not getting the kill on Puck means he's able to pick up his Blink Dagger. An important pickup for that mid hero. A very early Orchid on qojgva. 115 last hits at 18 minutes. That's absurd farm, and I haven't even looked at Black in the last few minutes. Where are you, Black? 154. Jesus Christ. Yeah, he's gonna be out of control really soon. mousesports is grouped up in the enemy jungle here. They could find Boogie, who is infested right now. Seafla, he waits to pop out, but the Orchid actually finishes off Boogie. No problem. Seafla could also be in trouble. He does not have mana for his rage, but God, these butt shots from the Satyr Tormentor. Ever present. The Orchid is doing a lot of work for qojgva, and it will continue to do so through the rest of this game. Orchid against pretty much everybody on Rat in the Dark is going to be really effective. Very strong versus Lifestealer, can't pop Rage. Very strong versus Puck, can't pop Phase Shift. Teleport and the Sprout on Nature's Prophet. It's universally effective, and I think it's a great early pickup. And provides the mana regen that Queen of Pain needs to continually spam all of her spells. So with those kills, Mouz picks up a very easy last tier 1 of this game, and that's going to open up the jungle for them. No problem. And they could also go for Roche pretty soon here with no trouble. Spin's almost got his Shadow Blade, so he could start split pushing in the near future. Oh, Paz, he gets Silence, pops the time lapse. They drop the Sentry, but do they have the lockdown necessary to take him out? Is there a stun? There's a disruption to interrupt. Yeah, so Paz does go down. Picked up with one more right click from Seafla, so it's a valuable kill for Lifestealer. And he's picked up an Oblivion Staff of his own, so he's looking towards an Orchid as well, which I think is a decent pickup. It's I don't know. It's really good versus Weaver. It means that he can't time-lapse, and it's also good versus Queen of Pain. So it's certainly not a bad item whatsoever. But late game, I mean, Black really doesn't care about the Orchid whatsoever. He's got his BKB finished, for a long time now, and his physical damage is going to be pretty crazy. I really believe a bash is necessary on this Lifestealer to take down these really really slippery heroes on mousesports, the Queen of Pain and Weaver in particular. Even with a silence onto Weaver, he's still good positioning for pause, which we haven't really been seeing a lot of this game, but good positioning means that he won't be that vulnerable to getting chained down. If you silence him, he can still walk away, and you still have to land the stun. So it's important. Oh, there's a jump onto pause once more, so I guess I'll eat my words. And actually, this could be a triple kill. There's an overgrowth used by Synderen, gonna delay. There's a teleport in from Spin. Brain Sap used by Zizo, gonna keep him alive for a little bit longer. Fiend's Grip used onto Seafla, basically wasting the cooldown for no reason. So 3 kills, quickly going the way of Rat in the Dark. Really good initiation from them. Jumping right in, great Infest Bomb. Onto Boogie. Ooh, easy pickoff for qojgva. Takes out Lapise, and that's gonna stop this push dead in its tracks. Without any form of sustainability on Rat in the Dark, they don't have a mechanism, they don't have any kind of heals. There's no way for them to sustain a push like that, and so they just get blown apart by the Sonic Wave. Meanwhile, Black, he's going to take this whole Ancient stack on his own, needs no help whatsoever because he's got that Helm of the Dominator. That's going to put him at 3,800 gold, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him go for something like a Butterfly next. That'll really amp up his damage and effectiveness and make sure that he does not give any fucks about what Lifestealer does. Only 1 tower picked up so far in this game for Rat in the Dark, and that was the kind of the freebie, the bottom tier 1. Arguably the easiest one to acquire in the game. And with a Trio Protector, I mean, they got a lot of damage onto the mid tier 1, but it's all getting reversed by the living armor from Trio Protector. After that fight, mouz looks towards Roche, and it should be no problem for them to take it down. Kind of would like to see a medallion on Weaver. I think that's a very strong pickup, and would make this Roche go a lot faster. Especially the early armor on Roche is not particularly strong. But Boogie, he's got an infest. Oh, nice silence. Lands on 2. Fiend's Grip is available. qojgva, however, he's got a BKB now, and there's the Fiend's Grip popped onto Seafla. The Uzuri Orb finishes off Synderen, but that's okay. Seafla, he's gonna get finished off, no problem. It's a 2-for-1 so far, and that's Lifestealer and Puck going down for Rat in the Dark, and mouz will continue this Roche pretty unfettered.
Roshan has fallen to the dire.
Not too much for them to be concerned about. Yeah, I think just over-aggression from Rat in the Dark there. They needed that initiation, and I think they really could have taken the fight, but they got split apart. It was basically just Puck and Lifestealer over, like, you know, all the way over here, while the rest of Rat in the Dark were down here, and I think they needed to focus one target and not dive so hard. But admittedly, it's hard to know who to focus on mousesports. Do you focus the Bane, who's got the Fiend's Grip? Do you focus qojgva? But he's got a BKB, and now he's picked up an Ultimate Orb. His farm is insane at this point. I mean, Christ. qojgva and Black combined, basically, I think they actually are, if you combine all the farm in net worth
Radiant's
on Rat in the
bottom
Dark,
tower is under attack.
Black and qojgva overcome them all, which is that's crazy.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, it's hard to see what Rat in the Dark is going to be able to do about this. But it's hard to know who to focus too in these fights. They have to focus somebody, but qojgva's got that BKB, and it's just super slippery. Same thing for pause. If you focus him down and you fail to chain stun him through the time lapse, then you've just wasted 1,200 of your damage. Not to mention he's gonna have a Lincoln Sphere in the very near future, so that's gonna make it even harder for him to go down. So at this point, Rat in the Dark, they're pretty far on the back foot. 10,000 gold advantage in favor of mousesports, 10,000 experience advantage as well.
Radiant's bottom
And I
tower
don't
is
see
under
that
attack.
changing in the near future. Especially, this looks to be another tower, and there's a butterfly picked up onto black. That's probably the most
Radiant's
reliable
bottom
pickup.
tower has fallen.
If you're really far ahead as gyrocopter and the only concern you have is
Dire's
auto
top
attack
tower
damage,
is under attack.
butterfly is basically the best
Radiant's
choice you can
bottom
get.
tower is under attack.
Rather Dark looks towards the top tier 1, slowed down somewhat by the living armor. This is the best that they can achieve right now, because they can't take a team fight as long as there's an Aegis on mousesports, and it really doesn't matter who it's on.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
It's still going to be a problem.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Fortify is used to delay this push a little bit longer. There's a Fortify in 7 seconds for mousesports. They're okay making these trades. They can lose their top tier 1 and tier 2, no problem, and they will still be able to farm, no problem. Especially because with the Fortify up, they're able to get to the tier 3, no problem, and they can continue this push, no troubles. There's the disruption. Oh, another missplit Earth from Lapis. Come on, man.
Tower is under attack.
Shouldn't get too frustrated at these players. It's harder than it looks, but at the same time, if you pick this combo, you should be well practiced at it. You know, don't pick way outside of your comfort zone or a combo that you're not well practiced in landing if you're really depending on that to land. This time, Split Earth does land. A lot of free damage onto black, and can delay this push for a little bit longer. Spin teleports up to top. He's also got a TP scroll, so he can come back at any time to rejoin the defense. But this is the best that Rat in the Dark can hope for, is maybe for Spin to get some damage onto the tier 3 and then join the fight when possible. Look at the damage that Dako is taking. Gets finished off by the flat cannon from black. Seaflip, he's got the Fiend's Grip on top of him. Black finishes him off, no problem. There's immediate buyback from Seaflip, as well as Dako, but Mouse, they're happy to take the mid-tier,
Dire's top tower is
mid
under
barracks,
attack.
and qojgva teleports up top to stop the continued push from Spin. There was some damage onto the top tier 3, but not finishing off means that there's living armor. It's gonna get healed back up, no problem, and that makes this a less valuable trade for Rat in the Dark. And honestly, it was a somewhat passive choice by Mouse to back out. They really could have stuck around as long as they wanted. They could have used the Aegis. But since qojgva had to back to make sure that Spin wasn't going to be getting that top tier 3, they just didn't want to play it risky, and there's still one more tier 2 on the map available. They're in no rush. There are some nice aggressive wards here from mousesports, so they see Spin. Would have liked to see one inside the base, or perhaps over on the hill here. When you've got such an advantage like this that mousesports has, it's important to make sure that you maintain as much vision as possible. Paz has finished his Lincoln Sphere, so he's going to be that much more of a pain in the ass to take down. Boogie picks up an ultimate orb, looking towards the Scythe of Vice. Orchid and Armlet up on Seafla, so his damage is good, but there's just the follow-up from his team is really what's lacking at this point. Arcane Boots up on Shadow Demon, so that's nice for him. 3,800 gold sitting on Spin. There's an Infest onto him, so they're perhaps hoping to find a pick-off somewhere, which if they can find it, particularly if they can find one of these supports, Synderen, probably not the easiest person to take down, but they do find Zizo right here. And actually this is a very unfortunate disconnect, because this means that I like that from Synderen.
And what?
They could have killed Zizo there. The problem is that Rat in the Dark doesn't know where the rest of mousesports is. So they really don't want to be feeding their carry to mousesports when they can least afford to. If they'd had more vision, which, you know, not their fault that they don't, except that perhaps Spin could have accomplished that with his time up at top. There's a teleport up on the top, the Infest gank, the silence, but they couldn't, they didn't have the
Under
vision.
attack.
They just didn't have the vision. Unfortunate, and Black, he'll finish off that bottom tier 2.
Fallen.
He's sitting on a Demon Edge and 3,000 gold. He can pick up whatever the hell he wants. It could be a Divine Rapier, and that would not be a throw in this game whatsoever. There's a Blink in, a Sheep. Defensive Disruption, nicely used by Deko. It's probably going to save Lifestealer's life, and in fact it does. So good Defensive Disruption from Deko. Allows him to dodge the call down and eliminates any follow-up damage from mousesports. I imagine that Demon Edge will become a Monkey King bar in just a moment here. Black will probably keep enough for buyback at this point. Zizou's picked up an Ogre Club, looking towards the BKB, and Mechanism up on Synderen. The comeback here is, I mean, I shouldn't say non-existent because it's never non-existent. But for Rat in the Dark, they need much more on Lifestealer to make this work. A Basher is absolutely necessary, and I think probably an AC as well. He's got to be able to tank through the physical damage, and he needs lockdown. There's just there's a overall not enough stuns on Rat in the Dark, which that's sad to say given that they have a Leshrac and a Shadow Demon, which that's not a low amount of stuns, but there's a lot of targets to stun. They also need that Sheepstick up on Boogie, which he's getting fairly close. He's at 3,000 gold, so another 600 or so, and he'll have that in hand. And that can make a big difference in these fights, but they will continue to need more. They'll really need the Sheepstick up on Spin as well to have a chance in these fights. Lincoln Sphere immediately popped on pause, and the gank as a result fails. It's unfortunate for them. I mean, they need more ways to pop his Lincoln Sphere. Everything they have at this point is a fairly large cost. I think the only major or only minor spell they can use to proc that is the Lightning Storm, and that's hardly reliable or long range. Something like a Force Staff would be quite valuable for proccing the Lincoln Sphere and making sure that they could get the silence off on pause. If they've been able to silence him there, they definitely would have been able to kill him. He's only 1,400 HP. But Paz has picked up his Crystallis, so his damage is starting to get up there. Once he gets that Daedalus, he's going to be a pretty relevant threat in these fights. Not that he's irrelevant now, but it's more that he tickles than anything else. Mousesports, they've got the timing on the Roche, they're waiting for it, and there it is. Black has finished his Monkey King bar, and there is a Basher up on Seafla. Rat in the Dark, I think they recognize this is their one and only chance to get back in this game. Another Aegis on Mousesports. Oh, well, Queen of Pain, actually, she's the one to pick up the Aegis here, and this could be a problem. Well, this is a problem for Rat in the Dark. Sheep onto Deko. He goes down, no trouble whatsoever. Rat in the Dark just couldn't get there in time. The damage from Mousesports is too absurd. I mean, you're looking at Queen of Pain with a Sheepstick, Demon Edge. I mean, she's hitting for 295. Black, he hits for 360-ish. Paz hits for almost 200. It's even with no armor production of any sort, the damage from Mousesports is absurd across the board. And there's a Vlad's on Synderen, so that helps out even further. So this bottom racks, I expect will go down no trouble. There's a jump in from Boogie. He lands the silence. Can they take down Black? He does not have the Aegis. There's a nice overgrowth from Synderen. Lands on 3. Seafla, he's just gets destroyed by Queen of Pain and the damage from Black. And the flat cannon damage is make sure that everyone else on Rat in the Dark just gets blown apart. The GG's called from Rat in the Dark, and a very, very convincing win from Mousesports. Really no major mistakes in this game. I'd say honestly the only play that I would criticize would be on Pause, getting out of position a few times. Would have to wonder how differently this would have gone for
Radiant's
Rat in the
middle
Dark
tower is under attack.
if there had been more landed stuns from Leshrac.
Dire victory.
There were at least 3 instances where missing his stun meant either a lot of damage not achieved on pause or a kill entirely missed. And those are really, pause was really the only kills available for Rat in the Dark in this game. And they needed whatever kills they could get to challenge Black or qojgva in their other lanes. I'd also say the laning for Rat in the Dark was not fantastic. By giving up the Treant Protector, it allowed Rat in the Dark to go for a mousesports to go for a 2-1-2. Sorry, getting my rodents confused here. To go for a 2-1-2, which meant more experience overall for them. But Rat in the Dark were not able to punish it. They just couldn't burn through the living armor fast enough. And particularly, going for the Nature's Prophet, I feel like did not pay off at all this game. Against a Treant Protector, you can't whittle down the towers, and the split push is just not nearly as effective. Plus, he couldn't challenge the top lane whatsoever, and you just can't let Black free farm. It's like, it's just, it's like throwing the game if you give him that much free gold.